We have gathered our party and are now venturing forth. Welcome. I'm Josh Strife Hayes, Games Master of Session 0, and with me are...
I am Callum Upton, the fellow bard of the party.
Hi, I'm Rage, or Rage Darling, and I'm playing a character who's a barbarian, and her name is also Rage, for simplicity.
Hi, I'm Billie Trixx, and I'm playing Sourceress Trixx. Also, that's not her name anymore, is it? I did that. Hi, I'm Billie Trixx, and I am playing Yammara Trixx, the Sorceress.
It actually fits that you said that's not her name anymore, because the audience might be looking at this fantastic set we've got and thinking things look a little bit different. When Session 0 started, we were just 4 people who wanted to play a big fun game of D&D, and we took it to Insomnia, the gaming festival, then we took it to EGX, and then we started streaming some sessions on Twitch and on YouTube, and they've gone really well, and we've really enjoyed it, and we thought, you know what? Let's build a set so we can bring you some actual practical physical games where I get to sit with an actual DM screen and all the players get cool props in front of them and you hear the noise of the dice as we roll. So Cal, tell us a little bit about the set build itself.
Well, the set build is pretty interesting. We've gone with a 4-wall setup. Most sets only go with 3. We've added a lot of technical flair to it, such as the lighting rigs around the top, which you won't be able to see, the cameras which you're seeing through, and of course the digital windows that we've installed all around the tavern.
And tell us more about the digital windows.
So currently the digital windows are just a single image that's wrapped around. However, in the coming weeks we're going to be updating that to be a live simulation that also runs around the entire tavern, meaning anything that passes one window will pass the next window and the next. So NPCs.
Does that mean one NPC is going to be walking around the whole thing?
Yeah.
So is he lost? Is he doing a loop?
Yeah, we've got one guard just circling the tavern permanently. Yeah.
We can actually add in NPCs from previous adventures or adventures that we go on to occasionally just appear in the background.
Can we just have one with a big hat?
Yes.
We can have anything, yeah. So because it's fully custom and made by us, we can do literally anything.
So, Cal, you're going to be focusing on the digital tech for outside. Jess, tell us a bit about the microphones, the cameras, the lenses, the lighting rigs, because you've worked on sets like this before. How does this one stand up?
So this is like a hybrid set, which is quite cool. It's in between sort of a home studio or streaming setup, which like a lot of us are really familiar with, and an actual studio setup, because our cameras are really hands-off, because the way that we have the cameras mounted is by using the Elgato arms, the wall ones, where they're literally drilled into the wall, and they're positioned in such a way that we have 4 capturing each player's perspective or each player's portrait, but you never see the cameras, which is really cool. That took a lot of fiddling to try and figure out. But stuff like that, you know, you can have everything set out and planned, but until you actually go in and do it, you're like, well, actually the angle clips on that one.
Yeah.
But no, I really like it. I'm really impressed. I'll admit I was really hands off with the whole tech planning stuff, but yourself and Mr. Greggles, you guys did a really good job.
Yes, we brought Mr. Greggles down for an entire day. It was a long day. And he helped with a lot of the camera setup, a lot of the microphone setup, and generally just handling as many cables as we have.
Now, all of the cables going from the 4 cameras, the microphones that are attached to the custom table that we'll talk about in a second, and the lighting all head into a central control room. We've wanted to do this for a long time, and it's taken a lot of time, effort, money, and planning to make it happen, but we think it's going to be something viable for the future. We want to take this kind of quality forward. Now, Billie, you've been pushing the social media because you understand social media better than any of us. What avenues can people follow or find out information about Session 0 on or through?
Yeah, so we are literally everywhere, and there will be TikToks coming soon, so watch that space, but make sure you come and follow us on Twitter. That's probably the main place, the main hub, as well as the Discord. There's lots of chatter in there, and you get to see some really cool kind of little bits that you might miss on socials. And if you want to support us even more and be a good Timmy, then you could join the Patreon.
Good little Timmy.
Now, we've been discussing the history, as many viewers have been with us from the start and have seen lots of episodes and lots of live stage shows. This new set and the stories that we will be experiencing in this new set, many of them will be episodic, the way we've done before, as in you tune in for one episode, you watch the adventure, the episode ends. It doesn't necessarily matter if you didn't see the previous or you don't see the next one. Almost like old episodes of Star Trek or Supernatural or even Scooby-Doo. You can tune in and watch one episode. But we're also looking at pushing more into slightly longer campaigns, whether that's 3, 4, or 5 episodes. We're actually hoping to open with a longer campaign that you can get invested into, and we can see how the emotional kind of narrative plays out. Billie, how do you find it playing in an immersive set as opposed to just playing via stream in your own room?
Do you know what I think my favourite thing is? Firstly, that we're all here and we can actually see each other.
Yeah.
I can look you in the eye. I can touch you now. And it's just like, I feel like we're just a bit more able to kind of like speak. We're not like, when you're online, you're waiting for somebody else to stop because there's a delay. You have to wait for them.
Even
now
the
we can
slightest
just talk over each other. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, we can all just talk over each other.
What? So we talk over each other, yeah.
Yeah. Wait, so talk. Yeah.
Talk more.
Now I really want to join in.
Maybe next time.
I love it. Like my roots of D&D started in my mate's bedroom. It was like all 5 of us, and I dressed up as an elf, and it was about. 6
Are you sure
years
you were
ago.
playing D&D?
Christmas
Well,
elf.
I mean, yeah, it definitely had a D in it. No, so
It was going so well up until like,
sorry.
Yeah.
I'll limit myself, okay? It's just
That's okay.
3 puns and that's it.
the great thing is we can, in the actual YouTube videos, cut all that stuff out, but this is like a little teaser
This is-
where you get to see what it's actually like.
Session 0 after dark. There we go. But no, so my grassroots was literally started around a board like everyone else. But I know a lot of you guys started D&D during the pandemic, so you weren't able to play D&D on an actual table, and still probably to this day you haven't played D&D on a table. So if you ever get the chance to play D&D in person, for example, Insomnia, EGX, any of these gaming conventions, get yourself to them, because they put on D&D games. Even your local board game shop will probably do D&D games. Get yourself down and play, because honestly the experience, like taking it from the screen to the table, is just, it's so good.
What I would like to point out is that while we repeatedly use the phrase D&D, that's almost a colloquialism for tabletop role-playing. We may not necessarily be completely constricted to the Dungeons and Dragons rule sets, campaigns, classes, items, magic spells, rules, or roles. There are lots of other tabletop role-playing systems out there. You've got Paizo coming in with Pathfinder. I know that I think World of Warcraft have a role-playing game. The Witcher has a role-playing game book. Firefly have their own role-playing game book.
RuneScape
Fallout,
came out
with
Skyrim, RuneScape, hopefully. Are they coming out with one? Or have they...
That's coming out soon.
Okay.
Very soon.
In that case, we'll have to get someone down for that.
Oh, yeah.
But when we say D&D, it's mostly because it's the accepted term for sitting around a table rolling some
coverall
dice.
term.
But we're going to say tabletop role-playing in general. So just leave ourselves open to lots of different systems, because it's not about the system itself, it's about the experience that the system can give you, and we have lots of cool stuff with that. Now, you guys are also all in costume as well. Do you want to talk a little bit about the costumes that you're wearing and how they represent your character, and who the characters you're going to be playing in these games are?
Yeah, so I will start. My character is Mullac Drab, the treasure and relic hunter. He's a human bard, and he's on a bit of a quest. I don't know how much you want me to go into this, but
Mullac Drab.
yeah, it's a very creative name.
If people write that name down, they're going to look at it for a while and be like, I see what's happening just there. So yes,
It all makes sense
Easter eggs.
now.
Mullac Drab, the treasure hunter. Now,
Yes.
when we were discussing, you used to play Callum the Bard, and we
Yes.
want to move away from being just ourselves and into actual fleshed out characters that people can come to love or come to hate or come to think indifferent things about. But we wanted to base your character on a slightly already existing character. And we sat around and were like, right, who should you be? Who did we go for ultimately?
It's kind of an Indiana Jones-esque character that I've
Yes.
ultimately gone with. You know, he's got a tragic backstory. He's out for vengeance, and he loves his treasure.
Yeah, I think we went with Rick O'Connell from The Mummy.
Yes.
That was said. And as soon as someone said,
Yes,
was
that
that
was
you,
it.
Jess, that suggested that?
Yeah.
You're like, Rick O'Connell, I'm like, done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make it happen. Tell us a bit more about your character, Jess.
My character. So I think the very first thing I should probably say is that, like, if you guys don't know me, I'm Welsh. So dwi'n siarad Cymraeg ond dwi'n fyw yn Manchester, for those of you Welshies over there. Oi, croeso I Session 0. There we go. So I based my Barbarian mainly on Welsh stuff. So her name is a bit of a take on the Welsh name Angharage. So Angharad's like a really popular Welsh name. But I added rage on the end, so it's Angharage. Very simple. But apparently if you spell it out, it seems like...
Yes, you gave me a sheet of paper and it says A-N-G-H-A. So I went Angar and then R-A-G-E. So I went rage. So, your character's called Angharage, which is just like twice as angry as you were before.
I know, that was really, that was really typical. But I didn't plan for that to happen. But yeah, basically she is a... This will not stay on.
Do you want this wolf fur instead?
No. Do you know, actually, in fact, the way that the fur leaves my shoulders is the way that my character left her family. That's her story. So she decided that she was adult enough to go and, you know, adventure forth, because there was a stranger that came in and just told her about tales of magic and elves and orcs and fights, and she was like, wow, that's really cool. So she's like, right, I'm going, bye. And then her parents was like, no, you are a child, you can't.
You're grounded.
Yeah, literally. You know how, like, when you used to go out and play out with mates and you'd always, like, stay out until dark, and then you'd be like, crap.
The street lights came on 5 minutes ago, I'm done.
Yeah, when the street lights on, you know you're getting a smack butt. Basically, that's what happened to Rage, and she was like, you know what? Let's just not go back ever. And that's kind of the situation. So she's trying to get as far as she possibly can before someone comes to bring her back home, or maybe doesn't. Who knows?
Billie, tell us about your character.
So Yammara is a bit like how I've been playing Sorceress Trixx so far. She is kind of really similar with her personality. She is a little bit stuck up because she's come from a noble family and her parents coddled her quite a lot. So they didn't really want her to get too powerful or exist outside of their means. Essentially, they tried to kind of contain her and keep her in, and that's for many reasons, and we're going to find out more about that, I'm sure, as the story goes on, but essentially she is trying to journey to find out more about herself and try to learn just more about how she can control her powers and how she has them in the first place, because it's actually quite a bit of a mystery to her.
Ooh.
So we have Mullac Drab, the adventure-seeking treasure seeker. We have Angharage. Is it Angharage?
We'll get there.
We'll get there one day. I'm going to learn how to pronounce this. We have Rage.
Say it
What
again.
happens that? We have Rage, and we have Yammara, Deska, Trixx, who all want to journey for various reasons, finding out about their family and their past, finding value in physical things and finding value in their own adventure and their own journey, which is why they've all ended up at the small port village of Phoenix Nest, a dingy run-down place with no trade but a ship which journeys to the north. And it's this ship they're going to board because they believe their future, their adventure, and their destiny lies to the north. Join us for the first episode as we travel to the north and then take on a vampiric horde.